So the day has finally come when we are putting our wallpaper onto our wall, and we've actually decided to do the wallpaper first and then decide on our paint colours, because we've had so many people give us their ideas about which colour, and it's definitely down to the middle one and the one on the right. This one definitely seems to be the most popular right now, but there's lots of people who like this one as well. And it kind of really, we've decided that it depends on how it looks with the wallpaper. So we thought that we'd put our wallpaper up first, and then we would decide on our paint colour. So we basically marked out where our chair rail is going to be. We've marked out where the panels of wallpaper are going to be, because we have one roll, and it's quite expensive wallpaper, and we don't really have a lot to spare. So we've got to get it right first time. So we're double checking our measurements, and then we're going to cut it. So we're going to start doing that now, get it cut, and then we're going to start getting it on the wall. So with the final cut, the wallpaper was up, and we could move on to putting our chandelier up. Ooh, look how nice that is. Look at the patterns on the ceiling.
Yeah, it looks good.
We decided to make it dimmable for that more romantic light. See, that's full, right? That's kind of nice. Nice subtle light. So we now got our wallpaper up, and we're still trying to finally decide what colour we're going to use. And this middle colour has undoubtedly been the most popular with everyone who's made comments about which colour. But it's still really hard to see. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to paint this section in this colour so we can see it on a bigger scale, and then leave it overnight, come back tomorrow, and then we will decide whether we go with the darker or the lighter. So the time has finally come when I can show you what paint colour we chose. And I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who sent us their ideas, their vote for the three colours and which one you think was best. And I know for some people it was very frustrating because you couldn't really see the paint colour with the wallpaper, but we appreciated everyone's ideas and thoughts. And there was one colour that kind of definitely stood out as the most popular, and it was a really difficult decision, but we finally decided to go with B. So we painted this part of the wall with just our tester pot to confirm that this was the right colour. And now we've chosen the colour, it's now time, we've actually picked up the paint, and it's time to actually put the paint on the wall. Now what's interesting is that this now looks very different in terms of colour than the colour that we got in the tester pot. And that's the other challenge with tester pots, is it's very hard to get the exact colour in such a small amount. So this is quite interesting. It's actually a bit lighter than the tester pot. And actually that's, I think, a good thing, because I love the tone of this, but it's definitely on the slightly darker side. So I think having it a little bit lighter is not actually a bad thing. So I'm going to get this now on the wall all the way around, and we'll see how it looks. Now, I know that for some people, they felt that might be a little bit dark, but we found that once we started painting it, it actually felt a little bit lighter, but it very much anchored the room and really complemented the wallpaper. Now you can see behind me that it's not completely finished. You'll see that at the top, we still need to add our crown molding. We actually only had one roll of wallpaper as it was quite expensive. And so we were very creative about cutting it so we could maximize how much we use for this space. And we're doing quite a large crown molding to kind of match the other parts of the house that have that really kind of very substantial crown molding. So that's why there's a gap left at the top, and we still obviously have to do baseboards. But we have started to put together and put on the chair rails so we can start to see what that looks like. But you can really see how beautifully it now is coming together. And the one thing I love is that right here, when you stand and look through, you can see the beautiful sage green and then our damask pink on the vanity behind, and it just really works well together. So I'm just thrilled with how it's turned out. Like I say, we still have some more work to do this weekend with finishing our chair rail, our crown molding, our baseboards, and getting all those pieces finished, and obviously the door frame, because the door's going in. But once that's all put together this weekend, it's really bringing this room together beautifully. So I've decided I want to add a little bit of contrast to this detail on the four-poster bed. You can see I've painted it now, and the woodwork, the carving on here is really beautiful, but it just really kind of blends in and you don't really see it. So I've decided that I'm going to add some of my gold to this. And what I found is it really makes it pop, but it also gives it depth. So it almost feels like it's coming out at you, which gives the piece an extra dimension, which I really like. So I am going to add the detail to this on the four posts of the four-poster bed, just to give it a little bit more interest. So I'm really happy with how this has turned out. The gold paint really adds some detail and dimension to the four-poster bed post, and it really makes that detail pop. So I think it was definitely worth doing. And so I now have all four posts of the four-poster painted. This is the footboard. The headboard has already gone upstairs, so it is now ready to be put together. So now the gold has been painted on our four-poster bed, the headboard and the footboard. We brought them upstairs and actually put the bed together, and you can start to see how it's going to look in this room. Now, the back here, you'll see that the frame is actually very similar to the colour of the walls, and we are actually doing a bed crown with material, fabric, behind this headboard, so there will be a contrast with the wall. That will go in the next week, but you can see how the gold really adds a little bit of pop of colour and detail, and really just brings it to life. It's just really, I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. We also have these pieces which are now painted. They're not quite finished, but they are going to go on the four ends to make the four-poster. So that's going to look really quite dramatic. So that's, I'm going to get those finished this week. And then very, very exciting, the glass is going to be here this weekend. So our window behind me and over here, they're both going to get, all the glass will be removed, reputted and put back in this weekend. So this weekend again has got some, we're going to see quite a lot of big changes again. Windows are going to be done. I'm actually going to be working on the curtains. over the weekend. So wish me luck because I have to be honest, I've never made curtains before, but thank goodness for YouTube and the tutorials. So I'm gonna give it a go, and I've got my sewing machine ready. I've got my material. So fingers crossed, next week I can actually show you windows that have glass and curtains. So let's hope. So I'm gonna get working on getting the bed finished and my curtains started, and I'll see you next week on the next episode of the Lady Smith Manor Diaries.